What's going on, aquarium addicts? Kyle here, and it's been a little bit over a year, but I've got something special for you today. So as you already might be able to hear, my filter is getting a little bit loud. So the filter that I've got on this 20-gallon tall tank is a Fluval C3 hang on the back filter. The light that I've got on here is a Phoenix planted 24/7 plus. I've got an angelfish in here, a few tetras, a few zebra danios, a few autosynclus as well. I've just got a piece of spiderwood in here. I've got some dwarf sage, I've got boosa on the side, I've got a couple different variations of Anubias in here, and some other unidentified species that I've recently obtained. The substrate that I'm using, as I was using in the past, this is the 20-gallon that I had set up a while back. I'm still using Seachem fluorite, and it's produced pretty good results for me over the years now. I've also got a cuckoo clock, so every half an hour it chimes. But today, since this filter is getting pretty noisy and I've done everything that I can to get rid of the noise, to dampen the noise, I figured why not just go for an upgrade. I just received this package in the mail, and by received I mean it kind of sort of was delivered, but it was delivered to the wrong place, so I had to go pick it up. Alright, so I've got some good stuff in here. Let's go ahead and unbox this. Should have grabbed a sharper knife. Alright. I got some sacks. Got some underwear. I've got some filter bags for basically for putting media in. And I picked up, oh, the box is already open, Tidal 55 filter. So this is going to be definitely an improvement over what I have, although what I have is still pretty darn good. Just noisy. So this is the Tidal 55. The 55 stands for 55 gallons worth of filtering. I've got a 20-gallon tank, so it's going to be sufficient. Normally with filters, sure, they might advertise up to a certain amount, but you want to take that with a grain of salt. If you're looking at a hang-on back filter, I would probably go ahead and say whatever number they're advertising, cut that in half, and that's probably closer to what it should be. So, supposedly this is for up to 55 gallons, and it's got the highest flow rate in class of 250 US gallons per hour. It's self-priming because the pump is actually internal rather than external with a lot of hang-on back filters that you normally see. And what's great about this filter, you don't normally see this with hang-on back filters, but it's actually got a built-in surface skimmer, which you can actually adjust how much skimming you actually want to do. It's got a maintenance alert feature similar to what the Fluval C3 has. So basically, if it starts to overflow a little bit, there's a little peg that's on the side of this filter that will float, basically telling you that it's starting to overflow a little bit. And then it also comes with its own biomedia as well. So I'm going to be using their biomedia as well as the media that I've already got established, which is why I also picked up filter bags. So let's go ahead and pop this guy open. So it comes with a pretty hefty owner's manual, about 100 pages actually, and it's in different languages, so it's probably not the full 100 pages, to be fair. I don't really read these things, so I'm just going to toss it off to the side. Let's see if I can shake it loose. Alright, so this is the filter itself. A little bit wider than what I've currently got, so actually maybe not even. Some extra parts. Actually, it is only ever so slightly larger than, or wider I should say, than what I've currently got on there. So if you're looking for sizing, if you're looking to upgrade from, let's say, a Fluval C3 to a Tidal 55, it's going to fit essentially where the other one was. So let's take the lid off. So this is that maintenance indicator that I was talking about. So as it starts to overflow, water will just push it up, and you'll know that it's time to rinse out your sponges that are used for your mechanical filtration. So this is the biomedia that it came with, which I think it's probably, I've got the bottle of this stuff laying around. This looks like Seachem Matrix. So obviously it's made by Seachem, the Tide 55 is made by Seachem. So why wouldn't they include something high quality and porous? It's going to offer a lot of surface area for bacteria. Alright, so this is the skimmer that I was talking about. So as water is being pumped up through a shaft, which is probably somewhere, it's probably in this box. You can also adjust how much skimming it's also doing. So the water will sit, probably about yay high, and as it's pumping up, it's also going to be flowing through into this box. And if you don't want it to really skim too much, you can always open and close it basically. So I also read that you cannot fully turn off the surface skimming feature, which I guess is fine. That's just something to take note of. So you've got your controls to adjust the amount of surface skimming. You've also got the control over the flow rate, how much water is actually going through here at any given time. So you can completely open it, completely close it, 50%, whatever flow works best for your aquarium, depending on the size of the aquarium too. Obviously I'm using a 20-gallon tall tank, which might at first here be a little bit too much flow, so I'll probably close it off a little bit. So then inside here is just one big media basket, which is clipped in, or at least so this little guy right here, sorry, just making sure you guys can see it. I can see myself in the reflection, that's great. You can slide this guy right here so that it's locked in place or not locked in place, so you can pull it right out. That's what the inside looks like. Alright, so this is going to be your media basket, which is definitely the biggest media basket I've seen in a hang-on back filter. It literally takes up the whole thing. You've got your mechanical filtration on the bottom here. I'm assuming as water is being pumped into the chamber, it's going to enter in from the bottom and work its way up. So of course your mechanical filtration is going to be first. This is actually more porous than I expected, so maybe at some point I'll change that out to something a little bit thicker that's going to polish the water a little bit better. Obviously then you have to worry about your filter clogging more often, so I'm prepared to do that maintenance at least. Maybe not everyone is, so maybe you just want to stick with that media. I'm assuming that there's I thought maybe, just maybe, it would have also come with chemical filtration as well. Normally these hang-on back filters will come with like mechanical filtration, biofiltration, and then a chemical filtration on top. Personally, I don't even use chemical filtration, so I'm still kind of shocked that it didn't come with it. Maybe I'm just overlooking it, but let's keep going. So what I would do, essentially, at least at the beginning here, is obviously the mechanical filtration. I'll just leave that as is. I would add my biofiltration. So right now, the biofiltration that's in here probably takes up about half of the remaining space. So in the other half, I'll fill up a mesh bag with whatever media I can put in there. Obviously, I'm going to prioritize putting that media in versus new media because that media is at least cycled. I'll pop it all right back in the filter and I'll put her in. So let's get her set up. So I've now got the Tidal 55 set up on this 20-gallon aquarium. Let's take a closer look. So I took the lid off just so we can get a better view at what's all going on here. So it's making a little bit of noise right now, but it won't make too much more noise after I fill up the aquarium a little bit more. The water level's a little bit low, so it's creating a little bit more of a waterfall effect rather than coming straight across the water here. It's also got, I did not mention before, a clip that you can attach to the side of the filter so you can attach your heater there. It's going to help to disperse the heat more evenly within the aquarium, having the heater that close, because let's face it, you're going to have the most amount of flow right where your hang-on back filter is. There's also a little knob in the back that you can turn to get your filter straight up and down rather than have it at an angle, so I went and adjusted mine. Right now this is what it looks like with full flow, so it might not look like a lot, but believe me, there's more flow now than there was with my Fluval C3. I also have not adjusted the amount of surface skimming on this. I'll probably play around with it a little bit. I don't really have much to skim on this tank. I don't really have a film on the top. My Fluval C3 did a decent job, and I made sure I didn't overfeed and stuff. You know, I've got, as you can tell, some floating plants here, dwarf water lettuce. You know, the tank has been kept fairly clean. I mean, the glass needs to be cleaned a little bit, but for the most part, you know, there's not much algae going on in this tank. Most of the plants are loving this setup. So I'm looking forward in the next couple of days, weeks, months to see how well this filter performs. So basically what I've got in there right now is all the media, all the biomedia that I had in my Fluval C3 in there, on top of the media that they sent along, which I'll grab the bottle of basically what it is and show you guys what media that they used. So what they sent along is something called Seachem Matrix, which is basically a high capacity biofiltration. I bought this stuff for a different filter, which I'll be showing you guys this other tank here shortly, probably within the next week or two, because I'm pretty darn excited about it. Much bigger than what I've got currently. And it's going to be stocked even better, in my opinion, than what I've got right here. So stick around, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys when I see you. So that last clip, I'll admit, didn't really do it justice. I filled up the tank to the trim like I normally would, and oh my gosh, it's nice having a quiet filter again. I can barely hear it. It's not dead silent, but it's darn close to it. And it's got some really nice flow. Comparable to what the Fluval C3 was for me when I first got it, but obviously the flow diminished with time. This guy, I hope, lasts a little bit longer than 2.5 years.